we have to play roster guessing games as part of our job, and with the addition of Dwayne, now you guys have 16 players under guaranteed contract. You only have
We do?
15.
Well,
You know, um, have they had a discussion with you coming into the year or this year about what they see for you role wise?
no. You go into every year assuming that whatever the coach needs, that's what you have to be ready to do. Um, that's typically the way I think all professionals kind of approach their season, and that's the way I do as a professional.
It's early on here in camp, but what differences do you see with this group compared to last year's group?
It's the honeymoon. Like last year's group was coming off a championship. So to compare last year's group to this year's group, or championship team to this, or conference champions to this, there's eight new guys, 9 new guys. So it's just a matter of getting in the fire. One of the things that I think everyone falls back on is if you have the best player, which we do, we have a chance to be pretty good. If other people play well, step up, do their jobs, then we have an opportunity to be a pretty good team because that's what history has shown. So we assume that this is no different than years past.
You've been around the league for a while.
Once or twice.
Yeah. So, what do you think about this All-Star change? Did you ever see it coming?
It's whatever. It's you change things up. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't change anything. Picking once or twice or East versus West, it's not as competitive as it once was. So you're doing something to change it because it's really kind of a joke. When you're having it's sad from a standpoint of when they're like, oh, this is the most points since Michael Jordan scored 35 in '87, and you're like, well, it was a completely different game. And so it's tough when you have three, no one had ever had a triple double, and now you have like 3 guys can get a triple double in one game because it's just a float around game. So, they're changing it up ideally to make it more competitive. So hopefully it works. It's weird because guys don't want to get injured, guys at this, you don't want to play guys too many minutes. But at the same point in time, you have to be, Terry Francona said something that kind of resonated with me. He said, our job is to win. And in the meantime, if we, while winning, people find it entertaining, then that's awesome. But just to go into something with the idea that we're going to entertain the fans, I think that's kind of shortchanging people.
So what do you think could be done, if anything, to make it more competitive?
That's not my job.
But you're a smart guy.
No, it's you have to address the issues of guys not wanting to play too much, guys not wanting to get hurt. Go so they kind of go like half speed. Throwing more money at guys that are all-stars that are making $200 million might not be the easiest thing, but you're not going to go baseball and do something stupid to give people home court advantage. So it's tough. There's really. You have to tinker with it, and I think this is a good step in the right direction. Having a conversation with guys. I think Adam Silver should have a conversation with the Players Association and be like, look, this is going to affect our brand if every time you guys show up in an All-Star game and it's 180 to 162, people literally will turn it off, right? Like, that's not excitement. Their idea is to see all the best players going against each other in a somewhat competitive fashion, even if it's for 5 or 10 minutes. So when they see the score at 100 at halftime, it's just not entertaining.
I think when you're in a place like this, you spend obviously all your time on the court together. You spend your free time together. We had a lot of appearances, a lot of different stuff we had to do. Yesterday we took a boat out, just the players hung out for like 3 hours. And that's the type of stuff to me that is team bonding, not the mandatory stuff, the stuff that you just choose to do as a team.
Did you see some growth from getting here to this point, from playing money until
Yeah, big time. A lot of trust, a lot of growth. I think we did a good job of making the changes we needed to. Still a lot of things to clean up. I don't expect to stop saying that anytime soon. It's kind of a continual process. You want to be a good team. You're always looking to improve. So I'm happy with this camp. It was a good 8 days, whatever it was. And now it's time to get back home and take it the next step.
How much did you work on your three-point shooting this summer? Did you find a way to get on the court and start playing?
I worked on it every day. I didn't dedicate a ton of time to it, but I worked on it. Last 2 summers I worked on it. So, like I said, it's not a shot that I want to fall in love with. I want to be aggressive, I want to attack. That ball moves around a lot. And, to keep teams honest, everybody's got to be able to space the floor and knock down shots. So I'm just trying to do my part.
What's it like playing with Milos?
Yeah, it's fun. He does stuff sometimes where you just kind of just impressed or like surprised, or I don't know what the word is, but it's that underhand full court shovel pass, whatever you want to call it. It's crazy. I saw it in practice one time, and it surprised me, and it surprised me even more tonight. So I expect to see a lot of stuff like that out of him.
How did your toe feel after 2 games?
It felt great. Haven't had any problems, so moving forward.
Is this a trip you'd like to make again in the future?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, the fans here have been unbelievable. Everybody from Hawaii's embraced us. I know the guys loved it. The energy in the arena both nights was amazing. So I think it's definitely something that we'll look forward to again.
Did you guys chat about defensive intensity tonight before the game? Because it felt like tonight was a bit more than game 1.
Yeah, I thought we just cleaned up some stuff. We definitely talked about it, but I mean, we talked about it before the first game too. It's just figuring some things out, going over some mistakes we made, and turning the energy up a little bit.
Have you enjoyed Patrick Beverly so far?
Yeah, he's been amazing. All our new guys have been awesome, but Pat's energy, his spirit is huge, and he's a bulldog. Those are the kind of guys you want on your team.
Lou Williams is now taking over the second team, it looks like. How is that with Jamal? The drop off, or is there? How do you explain that?
How do I explain what?
Having Lou Williams instead of Jamal Crawford.
Well,
Jamal was traded.
Yeah, Jamal was traded, so no. Lou's. I mean, they're very similar players, kind of different styles, but very similar players. They get buckets, they score. Lou scores and makes it look so easy. He's a great leader for that second unit. So, we'll look to lean on him big time for offense, and he'll be mixed in too with us. I think these first several games are just kind of about figuring out different lineups and matchups and all that.
What do you think are some of the things like defensively you guys need to work on, just communication, stuff like that, as far as you got a bunch of new guys on the team?
I got to watch the film and see what happened. Communication is a big part of what we have to get better at. First quarter we were talking pretty well, and then after that kind of went down a little bit. So, but I got to watch the film and see some of the breakdowns we had. They got a lot of open threes, but you got to see how they got them. Some of the breakdowns, and just go from there.
Kind of a nice
first time seeing this team against another team. What do you think overall first game against?
We're pretty good. We did some great things offensively and defensively, but we have to get better. Like I said, I got to watch the film and see what we have to do. I can't tell you right now what it was, but once we watch the film, we'll be fine. I like the way we played. We shared the basketball. Like I said, in the first quarter, guys were talking, stuff like that. So just some little things, but communication is definitely a big part.
4 of the 5 starters played 30 minutes or more. How did you feel about that in the first preseason game?
It was good. We only got 4, 3. We're not going to play in that last one. So I think it was good for us to try to get us, get ready for, when we play in Memphis. So it was good for us to, get up and down, especially against another team.
Was it good to see that you and DeMarcus were kind of able to get up to that fast start? Were you both all on the court at the same time?
We just wanted to play. We ran some sets to kind of give us some shots, but I think it was just a lot of energy. We haven't played against another team in forever. So, but it was like you said, it was good for us to get off to a fast start and just try to correct it a little bit on the offensive end as far as our spacing and having some guy either me or DeMarcus on the block instead of have 5 guys on the perimeter. But just something we're gonna get better at.
Was the first quarter kind of the pace that you guys have envisioned that you want to play with?
Yeah, we got the ball out and we, Rondo, whoever it was, actually in that first group, we were able to push it. So it was good for us. We got a lot of good looks out of moving the ball, kicking it ahead, and setting screens or whatever it was. So that's how we've been to play throughout the entire season.